I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart that this 2014 playoff for college football would ruin it. This show would be done. I would be done with the sport. And I understand a lot of people kind of make fun of the people in the group chat, or not the group chat, the comments. And it's always that one guy that goes, I'm done. I'm unsubscribing to you. This was my final straw. And a lot of people point and laugh at the kid because he's proclaiming a decision that really doesn't need to be proclaimed. It doesn't need to be discussed about, that I'm unsubscribing to this guy. But I feel like this is different. I truly would be done with college football if this is implemented and truly put forward. The 2014 playoff ruins everything that made college football so special. I will stand my ground and truly say that this is the best sport on the face of the earth. And I'll fight and die on that hill, regardless of how you feel. But the fact that we are going to go in a world in no less than 2029, as stated by, I believe it was Pete Thamel who broke this, he detailed and he got access to a document that was called the 2014 College Football Compromise, or the CFP Compromise, better said. Now, this is being driven by the Big Ten. That doesn't mean the SEC is out for no blame here. They are an accomplice just as bad as the Big Ten. But as of right now, the Big Ten is the boogeyman in this case. And truly, when you see the justification, and I can't express this enough, go read the article. I understand a lot of you guys want to watch videos. I'm not going to rinse and repeat every little point there, but look from the perspective of why would they do this? And it makes you feel disgusted. And I've wrote down some little nuggets so you don't have to go read it right now. One of the big things is the playoff or bust mentality that these coaches have to deal with. These coaches that get paid millions of dollars to build these programs, especially in the Big Ten, especially in the SEC, feel like it's a playoff or bust to detail what's going to be successful, what's going to be a failure for a college football program. Now, if you are a new college football fan, let me give you a little bit of a history lesson. It didn't always used to be like that. Now, obviously, with the Alabamas of the world, the Ohio States, the big national brands that you've come to know and love that are always in the national championship picture, of course, they have a higher standard than the rest of the field. But you can't look and tell me that South Carolina is having these same expectations as freaking Bama. That's just not the world we live in. But because of what has happened in the early 2010s when we implemented the 4-team playoff and it was presented to the college football public, the people that would be making the decisions on college football for years to come, we as a collective unit all got hyper fixated on making the college football playoff, which ruined bowl season. It outright ruined one of the best parts of the sport, because I always will use the analogy, and not yet one person has been able to refute this idea that, for example, if you follow WWE, you have the undisputed championship at the tippy top. And then you have your mid-card belts. Or if you want to talk about UFC, we could do UFC if you don't want to talk about fake wrestling. There is prestige to getting the mid-card belts. Is there obviously the best belt in the entire stake of the business? Of course. But it doesn't mean that there isn't secondary and third prizes. This idea that in college football, I'm going to use a reference of Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last. That's the mentality that we have in college football right now with 130 plus teams. That's not the mentality that they have in college baseball. That's not the mentality that they have in college basketball. And if you come in my comments and you try to say, oh, it's going to be just like March Madness, get out of here with that. Truthfully, get out of here with that. It's not a real thing. College basketball, you can go get a future accountant that's going to be helping me with my State Farm insurance, and he could catch fire and shoot a bunch of three-pointers, and then they end up beating a team. You are not going to have that in football. You could point to App State beating Michigan. You could point to Boise State beating Oklahoma. These one-offs, these rare instances. We are talking about a tournament in which you may get those one-offs. You will not get a string of them, because football is a physical sport with physicality, size, and strength. And at the end of the day, these players in the SEC and the Big Ten and the ACC and the Big 12 are just built different. I understand I'm going all over the place, but there's a lot of passion in my heart when we talk about this. And the fact that we are trying to now think of the coaches, because it's all of a sudden this playoff or bust mentality that you had set, is egregious to me. It's egregious. Let's also talk about the fact of what is the implementation plan of this. We currently stand at 12, and to be honest, I'm pretty fine with 12. I'm okay with 12. I was okay with 4. I would have preferred if we incrementally got to like 6 or 8. I thought that was the sweet spot. Am I still hurt that the college football bowl season is ruined and so many different, like, I guess, ramifications of implementing the playoff? Yeah, it still hurts, but I'm willing to compromise. And they are calling this 2014 playoff a compromise as if there's a 32-team version that we're whittling down to. The compromise is we're going to try to go to 16 because the SEC is okay with 16, but there's going to be a little caveat in there that we're just going to jump to 24 sub 2029. If we're going to go to 24, just go to 24. If you're going to break my heart, just go ahead and break my heart. If you're going to fire Mike Norvell, just go ahead and fire Mike Norvell. There's no point in just sitting around and waiting for things to happen just because it's going to make a conference feel better. And to walk you through, because clearly there's no point in talking about the 16-team playoff because we know what the future format's going to look, which would be 23 of the best teams plus one group of 6 team, no auto bids. What would be the point? Answer me this without mentioning, oh, it's going to be like March Madness. Oh, it's going to be like X tournament and all these different things, because they're only going to continue to grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. What is the point of the regular season for a Michigan? Hell, even in Oklahoma State, for the majority of the college football playoff era, I remember Josh Pate mentioned this, I believe 7+ times they would have made the college football playoff. Mike Gundy probably still has a job because of the allure and the notion that you have to make the college football playoff. There's no reward for winning the Cheez-It Bowl. There's no reward. We don't care about the Pop-Tart Bowl. But if you just got into that college football playoff, all of a sudden, your problems went away. I think it will also give a fake perception of success to so many different teams, because what was seen as such a prestigious award, very similar to like a New Year's Six Bowl, had started to whittle away, or the fact that the BCS Bowls were these grand achievements. Yes, you didn't make it to the national championship, but you still got to a BCS Bowl, and that was an award in its own right. That will all be gone. And frankly, it's already damn near gone. And when I say go read it, and I apologize, this is a rant. Chris, or anybody who's watching this is a rant. You could title it a rant, because it is. The piece that got me when talking about this 2014 playoff article was, finally, I'm getting the answer that I already knew existed, which was, this is just money driven. There would be 10 new games up for bid. There would be more college football games than just 10 added to the college football season with this new format. But there's already allocations of these media rights deals going to specific spots, still avoiding the NFL, by the way. It was detailed that they're still avoiding the NFL at all costs, like it's the damn plague, because we have no directive leadership of this goddamn sport. There's 10 games up for bid. That is why they're doing this. It is not for the playoff or bust pressure of the coaches, because the only reason why they are saying that, truthfully, is for the fact that they are giving out these crazy contract extensions and then having to fire the coach because they can't make it to the college football playoff because your expectations were too high. And now they're trying to get themselves out of financial debt because you're giving out these $70 million extensions. And then because of the turmoil that is roster construction in college football, they're trying to give themselves a scapegoat to say, well, our coach made it to the college football playoff 4 times. Yeah, he was the 23rd seed every single time. This allure of success. But the fact that there's 10 games up for bid, $10 million plus, that's probably the smallest number I could think of that is up for bid, and they're going to shell out money for it. Because the truth and the honest to God truth of it that is so frustrating is once the ball is snapped, and once they are throwing the football, running the ball, no one cares at that point. I mean, frankly, once the national championship came and passed, and we're in the thick of the offseason, we're like just on the cusp of spring football, the numbers dip. People stop caring. And so this is when people should be focused, but they're focused on, I don't know, the NBA starting up, the All-Star game, MLB's coming around. The attention goes somewhere else. Meanwhile, the sport continues to be chipped away for another dollar sign, another digit, because there's no centralized leadership in the sport. I truly cannot express this enough. If you see this video and you've gotten to this point, and in your heart of heart, you truly believe this is a good thing for the sport, without saying, oh, it'll be like March Madness, oh, it'll be like, Omaha in the college baseball tournament. Why is this a good thing? Why? Oh, also don't throw in it's more football. That's not how this works. Just because you get more of something that's a gluttonous idea, that you just get more of it, so why are you getting upset about it? That's not how this works. If I got to explain that, then probably shouldn't be commenting. This would ruin college football. This would become a NFL page. This would become a Seahawks page. This idea that I'd be talking about college football would be done. I was sick to my stomach. More than the video on Twitter with the little monkey getting bullied. This made me feel worse. That's a lie. I do want to hear from your opinion, though. Where am I wrong in feeling like this, truthfully?